Financial autonomy for state legislature and the judiciary takes effect as President Buhari signs Executive Order Number 10. Plus, Niger's first family to observe Eid al-Fitr at home, as correspondent examines different strokes for different folks in the celebration of 2020 Eid al-Fitr. These and more on Panorama today, coming to you live on NTA. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has announced 245 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria, increasing the total number of confirmed cases to 7,261. Of the 245 new cases, Lagos has 131, Jigawa 16, Ogun 13, Borno 12, while Kaduna, Oyo, Rivers and Ebonyi have 9 cases each. Others are Kano 8, Kwara 7, Katsina 5, while Akwa Ibom and Sokoto have 3 cases each. Bauchi and Yobe have 2 cases each, while Anambra, Gombe, Niger, Ondo, Plateau, the FCT and Bayelsa have 1 case each. Lagos State now has a total of 3,224 cases, followed by Kano with 883, while the FCT has 447 cases confirmed. In total, there are 5,033 active cases, while 2,007 patients have been discharged, with 221 deaths recorded so far. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law Executive Order Number 10 of 2020 for the implementation of financial autonomy of states, legislature, and State Judiciary Order 2020. Gufan Shaji reports.
With the signing of the executive order, the implementation of financial autonomy of the state legislature and state judiciary will strengthen the institutions at the state level and make them more independent and accountable in line with the tenets of democracy. The order provides that the Accountant General of the Federation shall authorize the deduction from source in the course of Federation accounts allocation from the money allocated to any state of the Federation that fails to release allocation meant for the state legislature and state judiciary in line with the financial autonomy guaranteed by Section 121 subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Article 6 subsection 1 provides that, notwithstanding the provisions of this executive order, in the first 3 years of its implementation, there shall be special extraordinary capital allocations for the judiciary to undertake capital development of state judiciary complexes, high court complexes, Sharia Court of Appeal, customary court of appeal, and court complexes of other courts befitting the status of courts. The President signed the Executive Order Number 10 into law based on the power vested in him under Section 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
With Eid al-Fitr celebrations just around the corner and Ramadan fast coming to an end, President Muhammadu Buhari will be conducting his Eid prayers with his family at home in Abuja. In a statement, Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, says this is an observance of the lockdown measures in the Federal Capital Territory put in place to save lives and protect people against coronavirus. This is also in line with the directive of the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Jama'atu Nasrul Islam, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, suspended Eid congregational prayers across the country. This year's Ramadan has been characterized with many differences of no feasting in group and of voluntary congregational prayers called Taraweeh. Despite all of that, in a few hours it is certain Eid al-Fitr will be here. But there is an uncertainty about how to celebrate it. Musbaudan Wahab will tell us.
The search for a new crescent has begun, and so too is the last-minute shopping for the end of a month-long Ramadan fast, Eid al-Fitr. But Salisu Yusuf is uncertain with preparation for any celebration.
I don't know what you go do because this COVID-19, it don't spoil everything.
Elsewhere, little Muklis Olajire, sizing his new dress, is anxiously waiting for the usual flocking to prayer ground on Salah Day. At least, he had seen a few of such in the past.
Do you like it? Yes. Daddy, are we going for Salah dinner? No, we are not going for Salah dinner. You know there will be no Eid this year, right?
Alas, it is going to be a different mode of Salah celebration this year. That their father has been pressing home to their consciousness.
When they brought their new clothes and everything, they were like, inshallah, we'll be going for it. And the moment I just mentioned the word coronavirus, oh, Daddy will not be going to any gathering.
Coronavirus is novel to this generation, but such pandemic is not new in Islam. And in the series of a new normal, with exception of some northern states whose governors have issued a contrary directive, Muslims in Nigeria, like in many other countries across the world, will have a new experience.
Everybody will pray their Salah, their 2 Rakah prayers in their homes with their family. The Muslims should know that this thing that is happening to us, we are not the only one. This is our own turn to share from the world pandemic challenge which the entire world is facing.
Because there is coronavirus.
It is an incredible reality that Muklis and his older sister, Makfusa, are now very much aware of. But they can only hope for a better future soonest.
I pray that the coronavirus should go maybe like before next month.
In Abuja, Musbal and Wahab, NC News.
The FCT Administration hereby informs residents of the FCT, especially Muslim faithful, that following the statement by the Jamaat II Nasrul Islam under the leadership of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, regarding the suspension of the Eid congregational prayers in towns and cities across the Federation, this is Eid al-Fitr prayers will not hold on Eid grounds across the FCT. The statement equally urged Muslims to observe the Eid al-Fitr prayers at home with family members or alone in the case of an individual living alone. This is in tandem with the guidelines issued by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 that all places of worship in the FCT and other high-risk states of the Federation should remain closed during the recently extended period of lockdown. In order to achieve this objective of enforcing these guidelines, meetings were held earlier between the administration and leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria and the League of FCT Imams. The FCT Administration therefore calls for support and understanding of all residents as efforts have been made to curtail and eventually end the spread of the COVID-19 in the territory. A culprit of fake news who makes use of social media to spread falsehood has finally been apprehended. The blogger Mempamo St. Onitsha was nabbed for a false report against the Kogi State government, Francis Odojo reports.
The suspect and also a Bayelsa blogger, Mempamo St. Onitsha, after his publication on the 30th of April, generated a lot of speculations and negative comments on the social media, a situation which did not go down well with the Kogi State government, who debunked the report as false and intended to damage the image of the present administration. Eventually, St. Onitsha was arrested and later granted bail by the Bayelsa State Security Services following his confession and apology to the Kogi and Bayelsa State's government for his actions. Meanwhile, Kogi State government says it will allow the law to take its course to serve as deterrent to others. The state government called journalists, especially those in the mainstream media, are unlikely to make such blunder, advised practitioners of journalism to ensure they follow the ethics guiding the profession.
Just like he has admitted that he made the post without verification, there is a position in law. If that kind of mistake is made, what kind of penalty he is going to face. But as his government, yes, he has asked for forgiveness that he has made an error, but on our own side, we can only approach the law.
And on isolation centers, the state government are optimistic in handling cases associated with COVID-19, Lassa fever, among other health challenges confronting the state and the nation at the moment. From the government house, Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
You're still watching Panorama on NTA. Let's take a break now. More reports ahead. Thanks for staying with us. Now to agriculture. More than 6,000 farmers in Osun have been empowered by the state government for the 2020 planting season. Governor Oyetola, at the flag-off of the 2020 planting season in Osogbo, says his administration is poised to make agribusiness more profitable for farmers. Femi Afariogun reports.
80% of the 1 million hectares of land Osun State covers is available for cultivation, but only 51.2% is put to arable crops cultivation annually. To maximize the unused arable land, the state government flagged off the 2020 planting season, while over 60,000 farmers were given agricultural inputs such as maize seeds, cassava cuttings, vegetable seeds, lime, and knapsack sprayers.
I do like this occasion very, very much because it's very significant and we can remember it always in the history of Osun State.
He's a man of his word.
Despite the effect of coronavirus pandemic, Governor Oyetola is optimistic that Osun will record bountiful harvest, which will contribute to food security and enhance sustainable economic development of the state.
Yes, mechanized farming is good, but even encourage the local farmers to increase their yield, to imbibe the spirit of using high yield inputs as opposed to the usual conventional things they used in the past. So we'll continue to support them very regularly.
Agribusiness is one key area Oyetola's administration intends to build during this planting season, not only to boost internally generated revenue of the state, but also to provide more employment for the youths. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Still on agriculture, the importance of crop production in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized, not only due to its contribution in food sufficiency and economic recovery, but also in promoting President Muhammadu Buhari's agenda of the diversification of the nation's economy through agriculture. Although agricultural sector, like other sectors, faces many challenges in this COVID-19 era, concerted efforts are required by all stakeholders to ensure food security after coronavirus pandemic period. Uduak Etim takes a look at the sector.
Nigeria has over the years been relying largely on the crude oil revenue to boost the economy. With the dwindling oil price coupled with challenges of coronavirus pandemic, the diversification drive of the nation through agriculture for domestic and exports is truly the way out, especially if the country must counter recession in the COVID-19 era. Therefore, the expectation of the people from all tiers of government is a concerted effort in boosting farming. The time for this, relevant stakeholders say, is now.
It's good for someone to farm, in the sense that when you look at yourself, there was a day that you will not see anything. You just enter Cosmo and do emergency soup.
COVID-19 will come and go, so we need encouragement by both the private sector, the government, and of course, the federal government should be able to look inward to see that agriculture is business.
Since the task of making food sufficient for Nigerians also involves Akwa Ibom State, how can this be done?
One of the major things we are doing in order to make sure that despite this pandemic we still have food sufficiency in the state is to provide our farmers with the inputs. Like cassava, for instance, the cassava farmers, we provide them with the improved cassava cutting so that the yield will be really increased.
However, the driver of the nation's economy, stakeholders say, must be more concerned through robust policy direction, supplementing modernized inputs. The commitment of all Nigerians in farming with its value chain, forecasters of economic recession in the post-COVID-19 era will be disappointed. In Uyo, Uduak Etem, NTA News.
Away from food security, lockdown or not, at home or in school, the Nigerian children must be celebrated and empowered to attain their full potential of becoming responsible citizens come May 27th. This is a submission of the Minister of Women Affairs while unveiling a series of events to mark the 2020 Children's May Day in a lockdown. Momsodemi Ndati reports.
The 27th of May is just by the corner, and with the lockdown, the children may be losing hope on ever marking their special day.
The effect of coronavirus, those effective stress day.
But not so for the Ministry of Women Affairs. The event must be marked even with the lockdown. So, the convergence of key players here is to unveil the theme and how children can participate online right from their homes.
Of this year's Children's Day is promoting the girl-child education for sustainable development. The team is expected to intensify sensitization and awareness creation for increased enrollment, retention, and completion rate of girls in schools at all levels. It's a day that children around the world look forward to express their feelings and to celebrate childhood. However, in whatever situation we find ourselves, we must do our best to give the child its rightful place.
To support the event and assist Nigerian women, a support group championing the fight against breast and cervical cancer donated personal protective equipment to the ministry. Momsodemi Ndati, NTA News.
Let's now shift attention to political matters. From 1st of June, the political gates in Edo and Ondo states will open for the contest of the #1 seat in the state. In the face of the COVID-19, what are some of the plans INEC is putting in place to successfully conduct the elections? Let's hear from Mie Ogidi.
In politics and elections, there is no break. Having break means invitation for constitutional crisis. And since the constitution is blind to coronavirus, the tenure of the governor of Edo State ends on the 11th of November 2020, while Ondo State ends on the 23rd of February 2021. So, the elections must go on. But this is a moment of history that is unique, so the guidelines have to be adjusted. The timetables are out for Edo and Ondo already, and there are no alterations even in the face of the striking COVID-19.
The Commission has fixed Saturday, 19th September 2020, as the date for the governorship election in Edo State, and Saturday, 10th October 2020 for Ondo State.
In Edo, for instance, notice of election is on the 1st of June. Collection of forms is 2nd. Conduct of party primaries is from 2nd to 27th of June. Campaigns start from the 21st of June. Submission of candidates June 29, while Ondo will start its notice of election on the 1st of July. Collection of forms on the 2nd, party primaries 2nd to 25th of July. Campaigns start from the 13th of July. Submission of candidates is 28th, while the election day is 10th of October.
The violence during party primaries and electioneering campaigns are acts punishable under our electoral laws.
INEC is thinking deep and fast to conduct the elections in line with the compulsory new traditions set by COVID-19. So, a policy document covering health, legal, elections, planning and operations will be out on Monday, 25th of May, 2020, while series of meetings from the 30th to June 3rd with stakeholders to acquaint them with the policy document. Besides the 2 governorship elections, 9 by-elections in 7 states will also be seeking INEC's attention. Though no date yet for those elections, but because of constitutional exigencies, they may come up before the election day of Edo and Ondo governorship polls. However, following the due registration of some political parties on the 6th of February 2020, only 18 political parties will participate in those elections. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
And away from politics, scientists at the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, have invented an ultra-modern ventilator for use in fighting the coronavirus pandemic. Governor Samuel Ortom took delivery of the equipment, which was funded by the Benue State government. Charles Abba has more.
State Chairman of COVID-19 Action Committee and Deputy Governor Benson Abonu, who briefed Governor Samuel Ortom on the source of the ventilator, explained that it is in a bid to effectively fight the pandemic that informed the commissioning of the scientists from University of Agriculture to invent it based on their disposition.
The need for ventilators became very paramount throughout the world. So, Your Excellency, when the chairman made mention of the fact that the scientists in the University of Agriculture could produce the ventilator, I was excited, and without reporting to you, but believing that you will always accept what is right, I gave them the go-ahead.
The governor, who appreciated the sacrifice of the institution, noted that much burden of spending to procure ventilators, which costs over 15 million naira each, will be off the shoulder of the state government if the machine is approved by the relevant bodies for use. Team leader of the scientists revealed that there are a number of components of the ventilator which are entirely different from others. He maintained that it can be used to treat any kind of patients in Makurdi. Charles Abba, NTA.
Let's shift attention to security. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, has charged troops of the Nigerian Air Force to exhibit high sense of professionalism and discipline in discharging their duties. Abdul Malik Hassan reports that the Chief of the Air Staff made the call while addressing the Air Force Special Force deployed to Katsina State to combat banditry activities in the state.
Sadiq Baba Abubakar has deployed special troops to Katsina State to complement the existing air component officers and the Operation Hadarin Daji to bring to an end the issue of banditry that is facing the frontline local government areas of the state. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, who was represented by Air Officer Commanding Special Operations Command, Air Vice Marshal Charles Owo said the deployed Air Force Special Force has acquired the special training and is combat ready to face banditry activities bedeviling some frontline local government areas of the state head-on. The banditry activities have led to the loss of many lives and rendered many people homeless.
It is the stage where we are now for the special forces to be injected into the fight against banditry. And that's why the Chief of Staff mandated 60 special forces personnel, 3 officers and 57 men, well trained.
He said the force is saddled with the responsibility of protecting lives and property of the people, hence reassured its commitment to bringing to an end the banditry activities in the state. He further urged the special force to exhibit high sense of discipline and conduct its operation professionally in order to achieve the desired objectives. In Katsina, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
And now to sports.
FC Paderborn will host Hoffenheim at the Bentella Arena. On the 9th position of the table sits Hoffenheim, while Paderborn are at the rear. Hoffenheim made their debut in European competition in 2017, qualifying for the playoff round of the 2017-2018 UEFA Champions League, while FC Paderborn is making their second return to top-flight football. Kevin John Ufoma Akpoguma, a German footballer of Nigerian descent, will be on the pitch if selected, while another Nigerian, Jamilu Collins, plays for FC Paderborn.
Their last game they played when the German Bundesliga started, Hoffenheim actually lost that game in their home, but of course Paderborn drew away from home. So I'm looking for everything that both teams will bring in everything into this game, of course, to make sure they come out positive.
The match will be live on NTA Network at 2:30 p.m. with studio opening at 2 p.m. Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
And sports update ends Panorama today. Thank you so much for watching. Good afternoon.